Imagine finding a nickel in your change that could be worth over $800,000. That's right. One ordinary-looking Jefferson nickel from 1967 with no mint mark could be hiding a life-changing secret. Today, we're diving into how this humble coin became a high-value collector's dream and what to look for before you spend or stash yours. This is not clickbait. This coin is real, it's rare, and it's out there. So grab your change jar and let's get started. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. The 1967 Jefferson nickel, like many coins from the 1960s, was minted during a turbulent time in U.S. coin production. Here's what makes this coin interesting. In 1965, the U.S. Mint temporarily removed mint marks to discourage coin hoarding. That's why nickels from 1965 to 1967 were all made without a mint mark, whether they came from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. So why would a 1967 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark be worth hundreds of thousands? It comes down to errors, condition, and rarity. Let's break it down. A normal 1967 Jefferson nickel in circulated condition is worth face value 5 cents. Even a well-kept one in average circulated condition might be worth a few bucks to collectors. But here's where it gets wild. In recent years, high-grade versions of this coin have sold for massive money at auction. One in nearly perfect condition, graded MS67 full steps, sold for over $865,000. That's nearly $1 million for a nickel of full steps. Refers to the steps on Monticello on the reverse of the coin. If they are completely struck, with no wear or blurring, that means you've got a sharply detailed coin, and that's what collectors go crazy for. But even lower grades with fewer steps can still sell for hundreds or even thousands if there's an error involved. So what should you be looking for? Here are the top things that can turn your average 1967 nickel into a goldmine. First, mint state condition. That means no scratches, minimal wear, clean surfaces. If it looks like it just left the mint, you're in the game. Second, full steps. Turn the coin over. Look at the base of Monticello. If you see 5 or 6 distinct steps, no smudging or wear, that's a potential jackpot. Third, look for errors. These include double die obverse, doubled letters or numbers on the front off-center strike. If the design is misaligned, die cracks or die clashes, lines or shapes not part of the original design, these errors dramatically increase value. Combine one or more of these factors, mint state, full steps, and a dramatic error, and your nickel might just make you a fortune. Don't just take our word for it. In 2019, one such 1967 nickel in top grade sold at auction for over $800,000. That sale sent shockwaves through the coin world. It proved that these rare gems do exist and that they are worth serious money. Even less than perfect examples have gone for several $1,000s depending on the error and condition. So next time you're counting change, don't skip the nickels. That small, unassuming 1967 coin could be your lucky break. Check for mint state shine. Inspect the steps on Monticello. Watch for doubling, cracks, and alignment errors. And if you think you found something special, get it graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. Your everyday change might just hold an extraordinary story. Like and subscribe for more hidden treasure tips, and let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin in circulation. You could be holding your next big payday in the palm of your hand. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. Have you ever checked your spare change and wondered if you're holding a fortune without even knowing it? What if I told you that a simple nickel from 1961 could be worth over $800,000? Sounds insane, right? But it's 100% true. Today we're diving deep into the story of the 1961 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel. A coin so ordinary that millions of people overlook it daily. But one tiny detail can change everything. This is not just a coin. It's a hidden treasure. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for. You might just find one in your pocket. Let's begin. First off, let's talk basics. The Jefferson nickel was first minted in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. By 1961, it had become the everyday coin in American pockets, gas stations, and vending machines. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 70 million Jefferson nickels that year, most of them ordinary. But here's where things get interesting. Some 1961 nickels have no mint mark. That's because the Philadelphia Mint didn't use one back then. So far, so boring, right? But buried in that massive batch of coins is a secret. There are a few rare 1961 no-mint mark nickels that show signs of something extraordinary, and collectors are willing to pay a fortune for them. So what makes one of these nickels worth up to $865,000? It all comes down to one word: condition. The most valuable Jefferson nickels from 1961 are what collectors call full steps. That means the steps on Monticello, that building on the back of the coin, are sharply struck, clearly visible, and show nowhere. Sounds simple. But here's the catch: finding a 1961 nickel with perfect, untouched full steps is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Most were struck weakly. Others wore down fast. Even brand new rolls didn't guarantee a flawless strike, but in 2016, one of these flawless examples went up for auction. A 1961 no-mint mark nickel, in pristine condition, graded MS67 with full steps. The bidding started low, but as coin collectors realized what was in front of them, the price skyrocketed. By the time the hammer fell, that nickel had sold for $865,000. One coin. 5 cents. $865,000, and the best part? No one expected it. It came from an old collection, passed over for years, until someone noticed the steps. So how can you tell if you have one? First, check the date. 1961. Next, look on the back of the coin. There should be no mint mark next to Monticello. And now, the most important part. Use a magnifying glass or even your phone's camera to zoom in on the steps of the building. You should see 5 or 6 full steps, with no breaks, no scratches, no blur. If they're there, and the coin looks basically untouched, you might just be sitting on a jackpot. But a quick warning: tons of fakes and clean coins flood the market. So if you think you have a valuable one, get it professionally graded. PCGS and NGC are your go-to grading services. They'll tell you exactly what your coin is worth and give it the certificate collectors trust. Now let's go even deeper. Some rare varieties of the 1961 nickel show doubling. This is called a doubled die, where the design appears twice, slightly shifted. These are even rarer and can boost value dramatically, especially in high grades. There are also proof versions minted in San Francisco with a mirror finish. While these have their own value, it's the no-mint mark business strike from Philadelphia with full steps that steals the spotlight. Before you rush off to dig through your piggy bank, here's one final thought: coins like this aren't just currency. They're pieces of history. Every scratch, every shine, every strike tells a story, and sometimes, that story is worth a fortune. So next time you get change back from the store, take a second look. You might just be holding $1 million mystery in the palm of your hand, and you might have a coin in your pocket right now that could be worth up to $865,000. No, that's not a joke. We're talking about an ordinary-looking 2000 D Jefferson nickel that has stunned collectors and sold for a life-changing amount. This isn't your typical coin, it's an overlooked treasure hiding in plain sight. Welcome back to the channel, where today we dive into a shocking story of one of the rarest nickels from the modern era. This is the kind of coin that turns spare change into a small fortune. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to tell if you've hit the jackpot. So what makes the 2000 D Jefferson nickel so special? First, let's talk about the mint mark. The P stands for the Philadelphia Mint, where millions of these nickels were struck. In fact, over 900 million of them. That's right, nearly 1 billion coins. But here's the twist. Out of all those nickels, only a few have the rare error or condition that drives their value into the hundreds of thousands, and here's where things get interesting. Point 1: particular 2000 D Jefferson nickel shocked the numismatic world when it sold for an unbelievable $865,000 at auction. What set it apart? It wasn't made of gold or silver. It wasn't centuries old. But it was an ultra-rare full steps version in pristine condition, with a near-perfect strike, graded at the highest possible level. Now, what does full steps mean? Look closely at the back of the Jefferson nickel, specifically the steps of Monticello. On most circulated nickels, those steps are blurry or worn down. But a full steps nickel shows sharp, clean lines, usually 5 or 6 distinct steps. This level of detail means the coin was struck with extraordinary precision and survived without any wear. Combine that with a perfect grade from a professional grading service, and you've got a unicorn coin. So let's break it down. To be worth thousands, or even hundreds of thousands, a 2000 D Jefferson nickel needs 3 things. Point 1, it must be uncirculated, never used in daily commerce. 2, it must have full steps on the reverse, sharply defined. 3, it must be graded extremely high. We're talking MS67, MS68, or even MS69 by companies like PCGS or NGC, and if you're lucky enough to find one graded at MS70 perfection, then you're looking at the elite few coins that can demand those massive auction prices. But wait, don't go digging through change just yet. There's more, even slightly lower graded versions of this nickel can sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars. For example, a 2000p with strong full steps and a grade of MS66 can go for anywhere from $500 to $2,000. That's still a crazy return on something you might find in your couch cushions or an old coin jar. So how do you find out if you have a winner? Grab a magnifying glass and a good light source. Look at the reverse side of the coin, the steps under Monticello. Count them. Are they sharp and complete, with no interruptions? Check both sides of the coin for nicks, scratches, or signs of wear. If it looks flawless, it's time to send it into a grading service for evaluation. And here's a pro tip: check unsearched coin rolls or coin bags from banks. Sometimes older rolls from the early 2000s contain hidden gems. People overlook nickels all the time, especially when they think they're too modern to be valuable. Now you know the secret. The 2000p Jefferson nickel might not look like much, but in the right condition, it can be one of the most valuable modern coins ever minted. And the best part, it could be hiding in your spare change right now. So what are you waiting for? Check your pockets. Check your jars. Check your old coin albums. You might be sitting on a tiny treasure that's worth more than most cars. If you liked this video, smash that like button, share it with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe for more real coin stories that could change your life. Thanks for watching, and good luck treasure hunting. Imagine holding a coin that looks completely ordinary. Something you'd toss into a vending machine without a second thought. But what if I told you one of those nickels, specifically a 1999 Jefferson nickel with a tiny D mint mark, could be worth a staggering $865,000? Yes, you heard that right. A 5-cent coin. Almost $1 million. This isn't a rumor or some internet myth. This is a real story, and you need to hear it before you accidentally spend one of these rare coins. Let's break it down. First off, the 1999 Jefferson nickel. Millions were made, so what makes one worth a fortune? It's all about the mint mark, condition, and most importantly, a freak error during production. Now the D mint mark means it was struck at the Denver Mint. That alone doesn't make it special. But there's a known error that happened in a small batch where the planchet, the blank metal disc used to make the coin, was actually meant for a completely different denomination. Specifically, a Jefferson nickel accidentally struck on a planchet meant for a dime or even a foreign coin. This kind of minting mistake is insanely rare and collectors go absolutely wild for it. One such 1999 D nickel was authenticated and sold for nearly $900,000 due to this off-metal error. The coin was slightly smaller and thinner than a normal nickel. It still had the full Jefferson design and the D mint mark, but it was struck on the wrong planchet. To the average person, it would feel just a little too light. Maybe you'd notice it looks slightly off. Or maybe not. That's why people end up spending these without realizing what they had. But here's the kicker. There could be more out there. Mint errors like these often go undetected. Sometimes only one or two get caught and hit the collector market. Other times several slip through and end up in jars, drawers, and pockets around the country. So how do you know if you have one? First, look for the D mint mark just to the right of Monticello on the reverse side of the coin that tells you it came from Denver. Then check the weight. A standard nickel weighs 5 grams. If your 1999 D nickel weighs less, maybe closer to 4 or even 3, it might be an off-metal strike. Also check the size. Is it a little smaller than it should be? Maybe the edge feels wrong. That could be a clue. Lastly, look at the overall design. Is anything slightly off-center? Are the details super sharp? That could suggest it was struck with more pressure than usual or on a planchet not meant for a nickel. If you think you have something unusual, don't clean it. Whatever you do, do not try to polish it or make it look better. That can destroy the value. Instead, get it looked at by a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. If it's authentic and rare, you could be sitting on a life-changing payday. And here's the wild part: even damaged or worn versions of this error have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. If it's a confirmed off-metal 1999 D nickel, you are in serious luck. So the next time you empty your pockets or count your spare change, take a second look at your nickels. That dull little coin could be the rarest thing you own. You don't need to be a collector. You don't need fancy equipment. All it takes is curiosity and a sharp eye. If this video just saved you from spending a fortune by accident, hit the like button and subscribe for more insane coin facts and hidden treasures hiding in your change. I've got more stories like this coming, and trust me, you do not want to miss them. See you in the next one, and until then, happy hunting. Did you know one simple nickel could make you rich? We're talking about a 2006 Jefferson nickel with a little P mark that's been valued at up to $876,000. Sounds crazy, right? But it's real. And in this video, I'll show you exactly what makes it so valuable, what to look for in your spare change, and how you might have one of these hidden treasures sitting in your pocket right now. So don't blink, this tiny coin might just be your ticket to six figures or more. You're watching Coin Clues, where history meets treasure. Let's get into it. So, what is this mysterious coin? It's the 2006 Jefferson nickel, minted in Philadelphia. That's the P mark. Now, on the surface, it looks just like any regular nickel. Thomas Jefferson's face on the front. Monticello on the back. Nothing flashy. But here's the catch, some of these coins were struck with errors so rare, they've turned ordinary pocket change into collector gold. We're talking about coins with minting flaws, off-center strikes, double dies, or even wrong planchets. That's coin speak for. The US Mint made a rare mistake, and those mistakes are worth serious money. And now here's the big question. Why would someone pay nearly $900,000 for a 5-cent coin? In one case, a near-perfect MS-68 graded coin that's almost flawless under magnification was auctioned for an insane price because it was one of the only known examples in that condition. Pair that with a rare die variety, like a doubled Monticello or misaligned strike, and boom, instant six-figure value. And when collectors compete at auction for that one unicorn coin, prices skyrocket. Now here's where it gets exciting. Go grab your change jar, seriously, because here's what to look for. First, flip the coin over. Check for any signs of doubling on the letters in Monticello or United States of America, a weak or missing mint mark, strange textures or cracks, which could be die breaks if the coin looks off-center or the rim is unusually thick or thin and under a magnifying glass. Even small errors can mean big value. There are also coins struck on foreign planchets, like a nickel printed on a 1-cent blank, worth thousands alone. The next big factor is condition. If your coin looks brand new, no scratches, no fingerprints, almost mirror-like, that's where the real money is. Collectors pay top dollar for high-grade examples. The higher the grade on the Sheldon scale, the more your coin is worth. Mint state 67 or 68? You're in jackpot territory. So don't clean your coin. That actually ruins the value. Just store it safely and consider getting it graded professionally. So you found one that might be rare. Now what? Step 1. Compare it to photos of known error coins online. Step 2. Get it evaluated by a pro. PCGS and NGC are top grading services. Step 3. If it checks out, list it on an auction site or connect with a collector community. Coins like this have gone from lunch money to luxury cars. And with the right eyes, your everyday nickel might be next. So remember, not all nickels are created equal. The 2006 D Jefferson nickel might just be one of the biggest sleeper treasures in modern coin collecting. Check your change. Look close. You never know, a coin worth less than a cup of coffee could be hiding six figures in your pocket. And if you want more hidden coin secrets, subscribe right now. We've got the treasure map, and you've got the coins. Until next time, happy hunting. Imagine finding a coin in your pocket change that turns out to be worth nearly $900,000. Sounds crazy, right? But this actually happened. A simple 1998 D Jefferson nickel, the kind you might ignore, sold for a jaw-dropping $876,000. And today, I'm going to show you exactly why and how you can check if you have one too. Oh hey treasure hunters, welcome back. If you're new here, this is the place where everyday coins turn into unbelievable paydays. So hit that subscribe and let's dive into the rare 1998 D nickel that's shocking collectors around the world. And now before you toss that nickel in the coin jar, listen up. Most 1998 nickels are worth 5 cents. Some in mint condition? Maybe a buck or two. But one incredibly rare variation of the 1998 D Jefferson nickel crossed the auction block for nearly $900,000. So what made it so valuable? Let's break it down. At first, the basics. The coin was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark. Over 600 million were produced. That's right, it's not a low mintage year. So the value isn't from rarity in numbers. It's from a rare minting error combined with pristine condition. Now here's the twist. The ultra-valuable 1998 D nickel wasn't just an ordinary strike. It was what collectors call a full-step proof-like specimen. That means it had full details on the steps of Monticello Jefferson's home on the reverse, with a nearly mirror-like finish, a feature almost never seen on business strike nickels. And that's not all. This specific coin also had a dramatic double die error. You could see doubling on Jefferson's eye in parts of the lettering, a flaw created during the die-making process. Those doubling errors are rare, and when combined with a perfect proof-like finish, they send the value into the stratosphere. So here's the million-dollar question. How do you know if you have one? Grab any 1998 D Jefferson nickels you have and check the following. Point 1. Look at the steps on Monticello. Can you count 5 or even 6 full steps without any breaks? That's your first green flag. Point 2. Tilt the coin under light. Does it reflect like a mirror with frosted details? If yes, you may have a proof-like or deep mirror proof-like finish. Point 3. Check Jefferson's eye and the word liberty. Use a magnifier. If you see signs of doubling, you might have a double die. And now here's the kicker. The $876,000 nickel wasn't found in circulation. It was graded MS-70, mint state 70, the highest possible grade. It was slabbed and authenticated by a major grading service like PCGS. That flawless condition combined with the rare strike is what made it fetch such a massive amount, but don't get discouraged. Even lower grade versions with doubling or full steps can still fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Before you rush off to sell your nickel, let me give you a pro tip. If you think your coin might be valuable, never clean it. Cleaning kills value. Instead, place it in a soft flip and get it evaluated by a professional coin grader. So there you have it. A 1998 D nickel, the same type you might find in your change, became a collector's holy grail. From 5 cents to nearly $900,000, all because of a rare error and a perfect strike. Check your coins. Check your old rolls. Because lightning strikes when you least expect it. And who knows, your next nickel might just be worth a fortune. Thanks for watching. If you learned something new or want more rare coin videos, drop a like and comment your favorite find. And remember, every coin has a story. Yours might just be the next headline.